this very special evening called Royal Aging, brought to you by the Bengal Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Very special guest of honor for the evening, former Union Minister and parliamentarian Shri Dinesh Trivedi. A big hand for Shri Dinesh Trivedi. We just see the Honorable Principal Secretary home to the Government of West Bengal, Atri Bhattacharya, walk in. Sir, a very warm welcome to you, the Home Secretary of the State of West Bengal. A galaxy of former presidents of this historic chamber in all their resplendence right next to the ramp. And most importantly, a galaxy of stars of our previous generation, all of whom are iconic inspirations to all of us on the other side of the ramp. They are the real heroes of this evening, and for them we await the awards function. A very warm welcome to all of you. Friends, something is constant, that in whatever age we are at this point in time, what is constant is that there will be a day when we will all become quote-unquote old. And as the proverb goes, as you sow, so you shall reap. So we better instill the teaching of respecting elders to our children so that they respect us when we become old. There is a desire to age with dignity amongst all of us. Fulfillment of the special needs and requirements are very similar to us when we become senior citizens of our community. Common grace and manners dictate that we treat elders with dignity and respect. After all of them have spent their life thinking about our well-being. They have made sure that we all walk straight, and in doing so, they have become bent with age. They are repository of knowledge and advice. But sadly enough, either we are too busy or we simply dismiss them and their contributions to the family and community. Throughout this day, here at the Oberoi Grand, the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry had organized a day-long seminar with very knowledgeable speakers, kind of discussing on how to help every one of us age with dignity and what we truly need to do for our parents and for our uncles and for our elderly so that they live a life with dignity. We have a very special awards evening coming up. A beautiful fashion show will follow. And we are indeed grateful to all of you, iconic senior citizens of the city of Kolkata, who are here to encourage and bless us. At this point in time, may I request Dr. Amit Ghosh, Chairman Emeritus of the Healthcare Committee of the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry. May you, sir, kindly step up and address the audience.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, welcome to this very unique event of Calcutta. We have so far witnessed many a conference, scientific, non-scientific, addressing physically challenged babies, addressing mentally challenged men and women. We have witnessed conferences on women empowerment, But tell me, put your hand in your heart, have you ever witnessed a conference on and an event on the elderly? My personal experience is, whenever I have gone selling this idea, if I may say, that we would wish from the Bengal Chamber to hold an event on the elderly, everybody, not everybody, most of them have responded, "Are buro burider conference e ki hobe?" That's where our journey started. And I think we've reached some degree of success. I would just try to enlighten you about what is the theme of the conference and why are we here. We are today facing aging. We have to remember the fact that aging is a triumph of development and the triumph of particularly the healthcare society. It is the healthcare society which has brought about this development called aging, which has now posed a major problem. We have about 12% of our population that is aging today. By 2030, it is supposed to be 22%. That's a large figure. How is it a problem? The problem is, so far India used to boast about the tradition of being the most civilized country and used to preach that we have no problems caring of the elderly because the family structure used to look after it. The joint family was such a phenomenon. We miss it today. Let alone the joint family. Even the family, the nuclear family today is at stake. Adding salt to the wound, today we are witnessing a tremendous amount of movement amongst the youth, both for the jobs and education. They are out of Calcutta, they are out of our city, out of our state, sometimes out of the country, and the houses are empty, housing only the old man and the woman, who are facing a lot of challenges. When I was in the West, training in my career for 12 years in the United Kingdom, I had peculiar experiences. And when in my first month, I was given the opportunity to look after a drug trial which involved elderly men suffering from prostate cancer. And I had to follow this up to the end point, which was death. When the patient died, my first patient died, I was told that I was the person responsible for letting the family know. So I did. And the response of the son was, "Thank you very much, doctor. We've known you for the last few months. It's been splendid with you." To cut a long story short, the crux of the matter was, "Yes, so then what? When are you coming?" He looked up his diary and said, 3 weeks. What 3 weeks? He's going to pick up his dead father's body in 3 weeks' time. It was a shock to me. It was a culture shock to me. My consultant at that time said, "That's the culture. For the moment, you will have to forget India, but it is your responsibility to arrange the body to be preserved and delivered when the son arrives." So I learnt a lesson, and I was full of admiration of my own country. So much so, when in my last job at Oxford, when the professor, who was very senior, asked me, "Amit, are you doing the right thing?" And I said, "Prof, don't worry. I'm going back to my golden country. And today, I don't know whether I regret it or not." So we are in the same boat, brothers. Today, the West has come to the East. But I still have a conviction that Indians are different and we have a lesson to teach the West. We can still remind everyone about the responsibilities and the traditions of India. We can restore our family values. And that is why I am not very keen to be a party to whether Hok Alingon is going to be supported or not supported. I am here to advocate Hok Bandhan, and that is, whereas the sufferings are with the elderly, the bandhan should be between the youth and the elderly. It is the responsibility of the youth to support me, and I hope everybody does. Hok Bandhan is probably what is our tradition, and we should restore that, and that is going to be the mainstay of our elderly care. With this much, I think we shall now proceed to our theme address by our chief guest, Mr. Dinesh Trivedi. I don't know how to describe him. People describe him as a politician. I came to know he is still holding his pilot license. I don't know the truth of it, but I know he is a pilot by training. He's a manager by training. He's a businessman by profession. He's a politician by career. I really don't know how to describe him, but what I will do is, when this time I approached him to invite him for this conference and deliver his guest lecture, and I wanted to go and invite him, he said, no, doctor, you are too busy. What I will do is, I will come to Apollo Hospital and have a chat with you. Now, therefore, I decided, after many, many years, I have found a true gentleman. All yours, Mr. Dinesh Trivedi.
Thank you very much, Doc, for that lovely introduction. I thought you'll add some more, so I was patiently looking forward to that. But thank you indeed. So he had confusion how to describe me. It's very easy. A very young, dynamic person. Well, I don't know why I have been invited to give this little talk. I understand it's for 15 minutes because I don't think so I am in any position to add to the wisdom of this dignitary I see in front of me. They're all very, very wise, starting from my good friend, Mr. Autry, the Home Secretary. I see Mr. Ganguly here. Shamlu is around. They're all so dignified and people with wisdom. But in any case, I will give you a formula how to keep young. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? You're not ready for that. If you want to remain young, join politics. You saw Malaysia only day before yesterday. And the Prime Minister is very young, 95 years. And he is head of the state. So there is something in politics which doesn't age. Mr. Narasimha Rao was almost going back home to retire. Little did he know, he asked Rajiv Gandhi that, now I'm retiring, I wish you give me a place in Delhi. Rajiv Gandhi gave him 7 Racecourse Road. So aging, if Shakespeare had to say, then he would say, was there in numbers? Was there in name? Was there in number? So I see here royal aging or aging royally, royal aging. I don't know whether we should use the word royal aging or not, because we just heard what is permanent is change and what is certain is death. So between these two, we have to live intelligently. So I think it perhaps may be more appropriate to use the word aging intelligently, because royal tiger, royal leather, everything is royal, and I have no objection to that, but I think it will make sense if we at all age intelligently. That reminds me of this joke that, Haryanvis are very jovial people. So one Haryanvi asked, कि भाई जंगल में शेर मिल जाएगा तो तू तय करेगा. If you find a tiger in the jungle, what are you going to do? So Haryanvi replied कि हमको क्या करना है, जो करना है वो शेर को करना है. So we have no choice. We just have no choice. So I thank Dr. Amit for having me here. You see, whenever I stand in Parliament, the first session of Parliament, whichever, whether it is winter session, whether it is budget session, monsoon session, the first day starts with obituary. That a lot of our colleagues, you know, every time some death takes place. So we stand for a while, a minute. And while I'm standing there for a minute, and I see a lot of my friends looking at the watch because that minute sometimes looks like 1 hour. And I feel that a day is going to come, whether I like it or not, whether my obituary also would be read. So this is the fact of life. But at the same time, we are living in the most interesting time. Never before in the history of humanity, people were connected. If you look at the technology, it's just one push of the button and you can see your children, grandchildren across this ocean. Whether they're in Australia, whether they're in America, it's just push of the button. You see them doing whatever they are doing. Of course, a lot of things they wouldn't want you to watch what they're doing. But the fact of life is technology has changed everything. When I was the health minister, I used to tell people that a time will come, and perhaps that time has already come, that you're watching a movie and suddenly 4 bouncers will come while you're having your popcorn and enjoying the Hollywood song, and they will pick you up. And you will not know what the hell is happening, why I'm being picked up. You would have some chip within your system where the hospital is monitoring what's happening with you. So before the event takes place, whether it's a stroke, I'm no doctor, the doctors can correct me, or you are going close to a heart attack, they would know, seeing the changes in your parameters. So the bouncers will come and pick you up and put you into the hospital. So in short, what I'm telling is technology has changed the world. So don't bother about this age factor. And the moment you say, I'm old, first of all, accept the reality of death. And I'm not going to give you a sermon on that. This is what our philosophy, we were just told by Dr. Amit about our philosophy. So while we talk about our philosophy, but we are not ready to accept it. So I think the word is cheerfulness. The word is you have to have a lot of humor. And technology is going to really grow. When I see Mr. Ganguly out here, he has been heavily into art of living. Ganguly Sahib, if I am not wrong, you are still in art of living. I would say that at the same time, you also have to have art of leaving. Art of living is important, but art of leaving is also very important. That is why we have this 4 different ashrams. And all of you know about it, but we just don't want to accept it. And I think the Rishi Munis who have really come up with this concept of brahmacharya, grahas, vanprasth, and sannyas, I think it is a wonderful concept. So when you are a brahmacharya, you are concentrating on your studies. And I really don't have to elaborate, you all know it very well. So these are the stages of your life. And they have realized the truth has to dawn. It's a different story that if vanprasth used to be from 48 to 72, maybe the vanprasth today can start from, I don't know, 72 onwards. And your sannyas could start from 90. But the fact is, India also lives in villages. And I must tell you a factual thing which just happened last week. our domestic help. There are 2, 3 brothers, and they're all with us. Somebody is in Delhi, some people are here. Their father got sick. The brothers don't really get along as well as they should. But when it came to father, and the father is 86, 87, all the brothers went to the village in Bihar. They had this attraction, and they said, oh, we have no choice, we have to go. And I also said that, yes, it's your duty, you must go. Leave all your job and go. So the problem is not so much at the village level. At the village level, they still feel that parents are everything. And in our Shastras, see, this is what we forget. In the materialistic world, while the village has not forgotten, but we people, we feel that we have more wisdom, we have forgotten that. I have learned from my childhood that parents are above God. First comes our parents, then comes our guru, and then come God or nature or whatever. Kabir Das famous says, Guru Gobind dono khade, kaake lagu paye, balihari guru aapno, Govind diyo bataye. It is that guru who has introduced us to God. And it is that parents who have given us this body. So I think it's not very complicated. But this can only happen if we have given love and affection to our children. If we have not, and if we have just given them BMWs and Mercedes and whatnot, and not really love and affection, then I think you're going to get back. Somebody rightly said that whatever you reap, that's what you're going to get. This is, I think, the most important part. There are stories that Ganesh and Kartik were fighting for a very special fruit which was given by Devtas. And Shivji, Parvatiji were very intelligent and said that, okay, whoever goes around the world thrice will get the fruit, whoever comes first. Now Ganesh was very clever. He just went round the parents thrice and said, parents are the world. So I have already covered the world thrice. So this is the importance of parents. So if you teach, and I'm not into religion, the problem is we are getting too much religious without being spiritual. And I will just conclude because my 15 minutes is over. In Parliament, if you are given 15 minutes, then we take 1 hour, 15 minutes. But here I'm not going to do that. I used to be chairman of Indo-European Parliamentarians Forum. And I used to go to Brussels quite often. And every time I went, I used to address the parliament there. So in one such occasion, one of the parliamentarians got up and said that, Mr. Trivedi, tell me what has changed in the world. People are talking about India and China. So tell me one thing which has changed in India. I thought for a while, and I said, actually nothing has changed in India. So he was quite perplexed. And he said, what do you mean nothing has changed in India? I said, yes, nothing has changed in India. What has happened, which I will tell you, India has been a country of knowledge for thousands of years. India still is a country of knowledge. And in foreseeable future, India will remain a country of knowledge. But what perhaps has changed is your attitude towards India. Because this knowledge can be sold and bought. Intellectual property right. And the hub of this knowledge is India. The market is India. So you see that dollars in India, that's why your attitude towards India has changed. And please also understand, the world is getting redesigned. And who is redesigning the world? They are our children, perhaps not in India so many, in the Silicon Valley. The reason I'm talking about this knowledge, that this is very important, that we recognize this knowledge, whether it is Vedas, whether it is Upanishads. I think it is all everywhere written down, which I feel the people who we call illiterate are more literate about it and the people we think are literate perhaps are getting less literate about it. So this is a great country, this is a great tradition, but yes, the problem is also real. We cannot run away from this problem. I'm very happy that all of you collectively are thinking about a solution, because there has to be a solution. The best solution, I feel, is love, affection, and go back to what our tradition has taught us. And I have no doubt India is definitely going to show what is the real respect which we have to give. And this is where we will get back from our children. Japan is going to have tremendous problem about aging. India may have this maybe after 20 to 30 years, but it is always better to work in advance. Thank you very much, and I wish all the young people sitting here all the very best and be happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Trivedi. On behalf of the chamber, may I ask the senior most ex-president, Mr. Sumit Majumdar, to come up on stage and give him a token of appreciation, please. Yeah, thank you very much. Come here. Come. ঘুরে যান সুমন এসো
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Most importantly, it's not just another show. It's a show where we are showing tribute, we are giving recognition to the elderly aging people who are the assets of our society. More importantly, we would be conferring some awards over here this evening. But at the same time, I'd be requesting Dr. Amit Ghosh to say a few words about the tribute, the recognition, as I mentioned. I have some personal problems in terming it as awards, because this is much more than that. So could you please tell something about it?
Nothing much really. What we did was the whole day we discussed about problems, the challenges and the solutions of elderly care and etc. But I think with my Xaverian background, and you may laugh at it, but we all should and do believe of returning back the debt to society. The award ceremony is all about that. We wanted to give back to society. We wanted to create a bondage between the young and the old. We wanted to give this award of appreciation to the elderly for their contribution and remind everybody, young and old, that their contribution actually hasn't ended. The contribution still remains. They are still alive with us and very much going. We need to take their advice. We need to take their guidance to keep us on the right track of society. And I think the track that the society is now on, I need not elaborate on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Amit Ghosh. More importantly, let's begin the first award, or rather recognition. This is the award for excellence to teachers, senior citizens who are still contributing to the society by imparting education. I'd be requesting Dr. Amit Ghosh to name the awardee, and we'll be showing a small AV on the awardee so that you can have a better feel why this recognition has been conferred to her.
Our jury was very honored to give this award to Professor Bharati Roy.
Professor Bharati Roy, an eminent educationist and historian, was the first woman Pro-Vice-Chancellor of the University of Calcutta and the founder director of its Women's Studies Research Center. As a Pro-VC, her achievements were to bring out undergraduate results on time and personally helping a good number of young students to solve their problems. Saurav Ganguly and Paresh Maiti are among them. The ICCR building in Kolkata was completed under her. There she tried her best to promote young talents of Bengal. At present, she is involved in doing audiovisual projects on Tagore and has several successful performances and CDs. Her purpose is to bring Tagore closer to the young generation. Bengal Chamber of Commerce are proud to announce the award for excellence to teacher to Professor Bharati Roy.
A big round of applause for Professor Bharati Roy. I'd be requesting Professor Bharati Roy to come up on the stage. At the same time, I'd be requesting Aniruddha Lahiri and Ambarish Dasgupta on behalf of Bengal Chamber of Commerce to come up on the stage to give away the award. A big round of applause once again. I'd be requesting each and everyone to put your hands together.
And that is our award to Professor Bharati Roy. Thank you.
A small token gift from Hangla Heschel as well. Now I'd like to request Professor Bharati Roy to say a few words regarding this recognition.
I'm delighted, really delighted and honored to get an award from a prestigious organization like BCCI. I'm also honored, equally honored, to get the award along with other awardees who are all, each one of them, a really stalwart in his or her own field. I am really happy because of this association of BCCI with Royal Aging, to connect the young and the old, elderly, not old but elderly. But I'll say once this occasion, I'll share one secret with you. That is, whichever my job has been so far, I have been very fortunate in keeping in touch with the young, whether as the Pro-Vice Chancellor or as professor or in the ICCR. I have loved the young people. I have derived my energy, my happiness and my fulfillment from them. And I feel that it's very important and very fulfilling to keep in touch with the young people, keep in touch between the young and the elderly. এই জ্যোতি সমুদ্র মাঝে যে শতদল পদ্মরাজে তারি মধু পান করেছি ধন্য আমি তাই যাবার দিনে এই কথাটি বলে যেন যায়
We wish you'll have a good health and keep enriching us. Time for the next recognition. Each and every lady in Indian society are special. This is the award or recognition for the iconic lady for women and senior citizen. I request Dr. Amit Ghosh to name the awardee.
We are delighted to announce our second awardee, Srimati Chitra Ghosh. Can we put our hands together? And can we welcome Chitra Ghosh? Can somebody help, please?
We'd like to show a small AV on Srimati Chitra Ghosh so that you can have a better feel why this recognition has been awarded to her.
Educated in the disciplines of economics and political science, Chitra Ghosh has served in the West Bengal Education Service during her entire career. She had been the head of the Department of Political Science at Lady Brabourne College and a visiting lecturer at Jadavpur and Calcutta universities. Chitra Ghosh has been interested in women's work and movements and has shifted to women's studies in recent years, working as Professor of Social and Political History at the Netaji Institute of Asian Studies. She is at present involved in research on women's work and action in selected SAARC countries. Bengal Chamber of Commerce is proud to give away the award for iconic lady to Srimati Chitra Ghosh.
A big round of applause for Srimati Chitra Ghosh. I'd be requesting Honorable Dinesh Trivedi and Mr. Amit Ghosh to give away the award and the recognition. Yes.
Mr. Oti Bhattacharya, please, on stage.
A big round of applause for Srimati Chitra Ghosh. I'd be requesting Srimati Chitra Ghosh to share her feelings regarding this recognition.
Members of Bengal Chamber of Commerce and friends. It is a great honor to receive this award from the oldest chamber, the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I have been in the world of education since my birth because of parentage and my great uncle, who had always received adoration from the country for their fight for the freedom of India, but also at the same time for being great educators. I still run 2 schools in Kolkata for needy children, as well as 2 schools for the same needy children at Shantiniketan, where we have a house, because I feel that education is the primary necessity for every country, for every children and every child, to prepare themselves for the greater development of the nation and themselves. Thank you again. Thank you very, very much for this kindness.
It's an emotional speech from Srimati Chitra Ghosh. Once again, a huge round of applause. She deserves it. Ladies and gentlemen,